I make a better first impression now because I'm like a real person and I'm not like at work, but I know I don't make a good first impression. I grow on you like a tree.
Or a rash.
Okay. That's one way to treat people.
That's why I don't have any friends.
Yeah, be nice to the one you have.
Alrighty. Greetings, salutations, hello, welcome back to another episode of New to the City. I am so excited to be here. Let me ask the question to you, Deschenes Graham. Are you excited to be here?
Yes. Are you? Thank you so much for having me.
If I was like transcribing this, it would be like in parentheses, long pause. Hesitant pause.
Yes. Hi, Joey Littman Levy. How are you today?
Today I am okay, and let me tell you that I've been going through it this like past.
We've been having a rough one.
Few days, and kind of like this past. I don't know. It's hard to kind of like label like what days have been good and what days have been bad. I know how like kind of macabre and like sad that sounds, but like, let me tell you, it's gonna get like heavy quite quickly here, but I think it's important at least to talk about this process and how true this process is in like a full experience. Like I of course like it's exciting, and of course it's like I'm so excited to move, but let me tell you that this process of attaining a visa has been an absolute emotional roller coaster. It feels like I am a rag doll that is being thrown against the wall. Ugh. A lot. You just have this, like, you set up certain expectations, right? You set up certain expectations for, like, how long things will take. And, like, when you get told something that you think that will happen, and to constantly...
Especially when you pay money for it to happen.
Right. To constantly be, like, set up for, like, all of these expectations, which I'm not even, like, necessarily setting up myself at this point. That, like, these are things that, like, I've been told that are going to happen. It constantly not happening is so incredibly emotionally draining and is really, really difficult. And, like, it's just...
So tell them what's been going on.
What's happening.
The last that they knew, we sent off your visa.
Correct.
And we had gotten a notification that it was at the top of the pile.
Correct. So we, about what? A week and a bit ago, I was sent an email that was, my application has been made it to like basically the top of the pile, that like you're now being considered for evaluation for your visa. And since that day, I have not heard a single thing back. I have not obviously received my visa. I obviously haven't had any communication to what this process is. Once again, I'm like kind of standing in the dark, not knowing what the fuck is happening and where I'm standing right now. Like, at this point, like, I don't know if it's been sent off to another person's office and it's now sitting in another pile. I don't know if, like, someone has gone over it and they've like, come close to making a decision. I have absolutely no idea. And I'm now looking at almost a month since I've submitted my application, when I was told that it was going to be days, you know? Mm-hmm. So there's like this like generic helpline that you can call, and Jacob called and they basically said, we can't look into an individual application. All that we can tell you is that COVID has slowed things down, and although you paid for it, basically it's not happening. So...
Well, then I want my money back.
And that's what I told Jacob. I said, then why the hell did we pay? And Jacob was like, you know, like, we did pay. Like, at the end of the day, like, if we didn't pay, it could be up to 12 weeks. And I'm like, well, we're coming up to 4. It's not like it's been like 2 weeks and I'm upset, which I was upset at 2 weeks, but now it's been almost a month and we still don't really have an idea of when it's coming back. Like, zero idea. Like, I don't know. That's the worst part about it, is like, if I was kind of kept in communication, which I'm not expecting, like, I'm not expecting every personal, like, hey, here's like what's happening now. But it's like, even just like, an email saying like, we're working on it, or I don't know, like maybe I'm expecting too much. Like maybe that's where I'm at right now, is that I'm expecting too much out of this process, which I think I've expected too much out of this process from the beginning. And I've just been going through it, you know, like it's just been like so emotionally draining, and it's just been so, there's like days when like I wake up and I'm just like, what the hell am I doing? And like I know that what it is, at the ends will justify the means, but the means right now aren't that fucking great, and the means right now are kind of putting me through it. And like it's just, once again, I feel like I'm like stuck in this like limbo. I'm stuck in like my life not starting, and like there's nothing for me to do that will make my time here worthwhile, and like anything for me to get invested in, because I know that like I am leaving soon.
And that's the thing too, is like you quit your job because you thought you had like 2 weeks.
Exactly.
You know? And like if you had known, then you would have made different decisions.
Right. I made kind of this big deal of like leaving my job, of making sure that everything was in order, and like it kind of feels like it wasn't worth it in some way. I don't know. You do what you do, you know? You do what you do at the time because you think it's the right thing. It takes so much out of you. This process has taken so much out of me, and I'm gonna need time to recover. Like once I get to the UK, there's gonna have to be like some time where I just like sit down and I like am able to breathe, because it's like this constant feeling of me holding my breath. That constant slight hope that you have, and like that constant like being let down is mentally exhausting. And like I said, like I'm not here to like be miserable, and I'm not here to like kind of like bring the mood down. I'm just here because like I'm hoping that people are listening to our podcast who are truly invested and like want to know what this process is. And this is a big part of it, in my experience at least, of like, this isn't easy. And like, I just want to be transparent about it. And, you know, yes, this process is hard, and yes, it's been emotional, and yes, like I go through it, but at the end of the day, I will be in the UK. And at the end of the day, like this will be my life from now on. So you just kind of have to go through it right now, you know?
So we're just going to keep on going.
Keep on keeping on.
Trucking.
Yeah.
So much like the Drunk History episode, today we are drinking to forget.
Oh, yes.
By the way, Joy, what are you drinking?
I'm back to drinking that vodka, the zero sugar infusions, the watermelon and lime, or the
nice.
watermelon and mint.
And I'm drinking red wine.
Which one are you drinking?
Malbec.
Okay. I have no idea what red wine's like. What the difference between red wine is, because it gives me way too much acid. So bad.
I know. You tell me that every time I'd say I'm drinking
every
wine.
Red wine. It does. So, Deschenes, tell me.
Hi.
After all of that,
well, my best friend isn't in the country yet, so I'm not doing so good. Ugh. No, I'm all right. Actually, I have to tell you about the places that I went to go see yesterday.
Oh my God, yes you do.
So I went to go see 2 places. It was like a flat with all girls, and then I went to go see the house with the boys. And then today I was scheduled to see a house with all girls, all in Clappy Drunk.
Clappy Drunk.
Thank you for laughing at that, because I laughed when I said it in my head.
No, that was a good one. That was a good one.
Thanks. So I went to go see the first apartment yesterday, and I always end up vibing with the person who's like whose room I'm
you're
taking.
Actually taking, yeah.
And I'll never see ever again. And it's so disappointing. But yeah, they were nice girls. We had like a lovely chat about Love Island. But like 2 of the housemates weren't there. Like they weren't even moved in yet. So I was like, I can't really get the vibe of this place very well, because I'm meeting 2 girls, only one of whom is actually living there. And really, I was talking to the other girl the most of the time. But they were really nice, and it was a cute place. It was a little bit dated.
As in the building?
In like all of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was in like weird ways. Like there was 2 faucets. That's
quite actually normal, because my flat has that, where it's like one hot water, one cold water.
Well, then you live in a dated flat.
I'm sure I do. I am sure I do.
Why can't all the water just like coexist?
By the way,
peacefully?
it doesn't make any sense because how the hell do you get warm water? You have to put both of them on.
And then just
then like
together.
Yeah. Like one's like ice cold and one's boiling hot. Does that make any sense whatsoever?
Interesting. Not to me.
No, it doesn't.
But there was this really cool, like you climbed up a ladder and to get on the roof. So like in the middle of the second floor, there's just this like trap door in the ceiling with a giant ass like rung ladder. And you just like crawl space your way out to the roof. So it was interesting.
That is very interesting.
They were really sweet. Whatever. It was one of those things where I got there and I was like, oh, they're really nice. I probably won't live here.
Right.
Let me just talk about Love Island for 20 minutes and then leave. And then from there, I went to the apartment with the boys. It's 2 boys. And then there was the other guy whose room I was taking over was there as well. And it was so much fun. I stayed there for 4 hours. Joey, it was fucking wild. We had so much fun. I like sit down, we like had a beer, and then we just like got to talking, and then they were like, do you want to play beer pong? And I was like, fuck yes, I want to play beer pong. Are you joking? So then it was the 4 of us. We played like 2 rounds of beer pong, and then we like went outside and then like came back in, had more beers, and I did a really cool thing where we were all like standing in the hallway talking, and I thought that I was leaning against the wall. There was nothing behind me, and I just fell backwards. And I was like, I'm not that drunk. I'm just literally so dumb.
Oh my God.
And then one of them goes, do you know what poppers are? And I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
Oh my God.
Then we did some poppers for a while.
Oh my God. It sounds like more like you had a party than you did a viewing.
I literally had a party. They were like, this has never happened to when someone comes to see the house. And I was like, yeah, this is not normal. And then I was like, it's midnight and I have to work in the morning. So like I had to take an Uber home because there were no more like
trains. Yeah.
And so,
question, did you actually get to see the room?
Yeah. No, yeah, I did. And it's really cool because it's quite big. And
was this the room that was the last one, the third place that we were talking about? We knew it was right from the start. Let's be honest.
I know. There's like room to, it's not as big as my head thought it was in the pictures, but there's still enough room to put like a cute little love seat. So like we can record there maybe. Cute. And there's like private access to the garden. There's like a toilet on the first floor, which is basically like mine to use. It's basically what I have now, but twice the size, and a garden to myself.
Okay, so when are you moving in?
So I was like, I kind of have to live there. Like, totally. I don't think that's ever going to happen again, where I like show up to a viewing and accidentally spend 4 hours there. So much fun. Like, we got into a heated argument about the UK office versus the US office. Okay, yeah. So it kind of like hit all of like the marks of like, okay, great place. Totally vibing with the people. I mean, obviously you vibed with the people enough to stay for 4 hours. And like, yeah, to give the audience, to the listeners, like we were talking about it on Messenger before you went there, and we were like, we just had like a good feeling about the place beforehand. We were like, this place just seems right. And the fact that like you had kind of like that much of a reaffirming experience is really cool. Yeah. And you know what else I really liked about it too is like the room, like the furniture, it's like pretty bare bones. I mean, like a dude lived there for 2 years. So like it's not decorated by any means. Like the curtains are falling off. But at the same time, like that means that I get to choose the furniture and like the style and like get to kind of make it my own. And like I'm a girl. Of course I love like a fixer-upper. Are you kidding me? Duh. Like don't come to me fully formed. Let me make you into what I want you to be. I texted and I was like, hey, like, thanks for letting me stay
for 4 hours.
so fucking long. And like, I had a really good time. And like, if the boys are keen, then like, I would love to move in. And he was like, oh, they're going to be so excited. Like, yeah, for sure. Which made me really happy.
That's so sweet. So wait, so did you like,
yeah.
Are you moving? Did you say yes to the dress?
I said yes to the dress.
So is this permanent for now?
Yeah.
You have like, so like he's not moving back in. Like this isn't a sublet. This is like you moving in.
No. This is like me taking over like the internet and water bills.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh. How fucking exciting.
Right?
I'm
like super excited.
Congratulate. That's so awesome. Like finding like your permanent place to live must feel so like you're settling in and like you're finally like you have a job, you now have like your permanent place to live. Like also we're so close still.
I can tell you exactly how close we are. We can walk to each other in 41 minutes.
Which that walk is so good.
Yeah. Along the river, basically.
Pretty much. I can't wait to come and decorate it with you.
I know. So like I'm so excited because like I've never bought a couch before, or like, you know, like I went with my mom to buy like dorm room furniture and like when I was living in Philly, like those kind of things, but I've never as an adult purchased a piece of furniture, which is kind of sad, but also like it's going to be really exciting.
So exciting. Oh my gosh. And like, I think for you, like, I don't know, like something about you living with like two like bros, like makes so much sense to me.
I know. Like, I wish it weren't true, but like,
I don't know what about that
true.
just like makes a lot of sense to me that like, that's definitely who you'd end up living with. But I'm so excited for you. That's so exciting. That's so incredible.
I don't have any friends here. I'm totally lying. I actually do have friends here. But you're not here, so it feels like I don't have any friends here.
I will be there hopefully soon enough.
I know. I'm so excited. But that's like one of the biggest things, right? When you're moving is like how to make sure that you don't feel alone or like lonely. You can be alone, but not be lonely.
Yeah.
But the loneliness is what hurts the most.
So I have a question.
The loneliness is what drives you to play beer pong until 12 in the morning.
Yes. So I have a question for you.
Okay.
Have you found it more difficult or easier to make friends as an adult than when you were a kid?
I don't think when I was a kid anyone wanted to be my friend. So I think it's easier, but I don't know if I'm a fine wine. I know it. I just get better with age, personality.
Know what you are.
Personally, I think it's easier the older you get because you know who you are and you know what you're looking for in any relationship, whether it be like a friend or a more than friend. But what do you think?
So I think in general, it's easier to make friends as an adult. Just because I know for me personally, like myself today, adult-ish Joey, knows who adult-ish Joey is, you know, for the most part. Mm-hmm. Like I know what my stances are on like things that can like make or break friendships. Like I think you have kind of like these like categories. Like I know that like I have friends who we don't necessarily agree on everything. We don't really necessarily have the same interests, but we just get along. And like those are like kind of just good, easy friends that like, you know, like if you're going out for dinner, you know that like you'll have a good time. But not necessarily like the kind of friend who you turn to when you need advice, or the kind of like that not all of your like beliefs necessarily align. And then like you have like your friends who like you guys have the same interests, and that a lot of like you think the same way, and like those are obviously like your closer friends, the friends that like you get along with a lot better, that you have a better time with. And I think as an adult, those lines are a lot clearer.
Yeah, as an adult, everyone's so tired that like nobody wants to be talking to somebody who takes more energy than they give, you know?
Totally.
And I think that's why so many adults, it's like very cut and dry. Like either I feel energized around you or you are draining me and I never want to see you ever again.
And it's totally like black and white at that point. Like,
yeah.
And obviously, like I think there's obvious social implications that come along with like being a teenager and making friends. Like you go to middle school, you go to high school, and like you have to fit into a certain social hierarchy, and like you need to kind of like find your place in there, and sometimes that involves you making friends that you don't necessarily get along with, or that you don't necessarily like would be friends with, but it's just either A, convenient, or B, necessary for like your kind of social status. Where I think as an adult, and I know kind of for me that like I don't really give a shit about any of that anymore.
Yeah, I think as an adult, like as kids, we're kind of forced into these social situations. And as an adult, because you can make your own choices, people end up kind of choosing the same thing over and over and not giving themselves the opportunity to force themselves to be in a social situation where they need to make friends. And so they just kind of get into a rut of doing like the same thing over and over again with the same people. But moving somewhere new, I think is such a good excuse to kind of, you're already out of your comfort zone. So like, why not make yourself even more uncomfortable, because at the end of the day, life is about connections. You know what I mean?
Totally.
And I think the first place that's the easiest to do that, I have proven it, is with your roommates or your flatmates.
Yep. I agree with you.
I was obsessed with my flatmates when I first met them. And they were my like first new friends in the city when I first got here. How did you get along with your flatmates because you and Jacob pick them together, right?
Correct. So
and did you pick them with the intention of becoming their friends?
That was in big consideration of where we were going to live, is like, do I see myself being friends with these people? It was like instant. It was like you walked in and like it was like right off the bat, I was like, these are the people that I want to live with, and these are people that I know I'm going to be friends with.
Yeah, 100%. And then like for me, especially in lockdown, so the two places that I go the most, work and home. And luckily for me, I really like everybody that I work with, actually. And we've like made plans to do things when things are open, which is really exciting. But Maddie, the other day, we were having like a chat and he was like, oh, and I'll like introduce you to my friends, and like we're going to do this like thing and you can come if you want to. And I was like, yes, because the best thing about making friends is making friends with their friends, because you already know that you like them. So the odds are you're going to like their friends too. And that is my favorite thing, is to sneak into people's friend groups without them realizing.
Yeah, totally. It's you are the sum of the 5 people you hang around most.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, like if you're friends with someone, for the most part, you're going to like the people that they hang around with because you like them. But I think also something that challenges me a lot as an adult, more than it did as like a kid, is social anxiety. I think that now me being aware of like my social anxieties and like stuff like that sometimes makes it more difficult for me to make friends. It's like, it's hard for me to like involve myself in a group of people because of that. And that's a challenge that I think I faced as an adult making friends.
Yeah. I was listening to this podcast and this girl was talking about her kind of social anxiety and how it manifested in terms of like dating and like relationships. And her therapist had given her this like homework to, you know, when you're like walking past somebody and you like make eye contact with them, but then you like don't say anything, you just keep walking, you never see them again. So basically her like challenge was, when that happens, is to just like smile and say hi, because the stakes are literally so low. Like either way, you will never see them again.
Right.
So like at the most, they smile and say hi, and then you stop and have like a nice little conversation. At the least, they say nothing and
they give you a dirty look.
You continue on the same trajectory of your life. And in like the medium, they smile and say hi back, and then both of you keep walking. Maybe both of your days are like a little bit better. So it's something that I kind of want to try, because I find it to be so interesting, and also like kind of fun.
Yeah. And I think...
So I'm going to try to do that. And I challenge everybody to do that this week. Just like make eye contact with one person and say
hi.
Smile and say hi.
I think especially...
You too, Joey.
Oh, God.
We're going to follow up on this next week, and you have to do it.
It's cute that you think I'm leaving the house.
You can smile and say hi to when you're going to get your dunks.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
I know you get your dunks.
You know I do. Yes. And I think also, like, especially with COVID, I'm able to kind of hide even more, remove myself even more. It's almost like now made the social anxiety kind of go up a little bit. I'm able to kind of hide behind the mask, literally. Let's say you're sitting down at a coffee shop. Like, you're able to, like, look up and, like, see people walking in and sitting down and, like, smiling and maybe starting a conversation with someone, where now, like, because you're forced to wear a mask and, like, you're kind of, like, in your own world, sometimes, like, you are able just to, like, get completely lost and to, like, not have to, like, interact with anybody.
Yeah, but also I think you choose to be completely hidden because...
That's correct.
There's like you're a sum of all the choices that you've ever made, right? So there's ways around it. I mean, people don't wear masks outside,
right? And
like being socially distanced and like walking through the park and things like that. Right. So I think it's a little bit of excuse that you're hiding behind there, just a teensy.
Probably.
Like it can't because COVID. So it's okay.
I don't know. It's hard also, I think, because being married as well, and like I'm not saying like being married is everything and like you should only have that one person, but like I think I'm able to like kind of specifically pick and choose a little bit more, which I don't think is necessarily a good thing all the time. There's just like times when like I need to be able to push myself a little bit more, and sometimes I feel like I don't have to, you know? And I think that makes making friends as an adult, and especially as a married adult, a challenge for me.
Do you and Jacob have like couple friends?
We did have friends that, as in like couple friends, as in like friends that both Jacob and I have together, or as in like friends that...
I mean, like you're hosting a dinner party, and like obviously with dinner parties you have to come in twos. I've never hosted a dinner party, but like when I host my soup dinner party, everyone has to come in a two because that's like how many plates I have. Or this is my imaginary world. I don't know why you're eating soup on a plate. It's my party. Get out. So like who's invited to your dinner party? Like is it couple friends, like couples that come in twos that you guys like hang out with?
Not specifically, no. I don't think that's really, I think especially like I think it's important to recognize in the gay community, like I think I don't want to say it's harder to come by because I don't think that's necessarily true, but I just don't think it's as embedded in the social code as like straight people would be.
I just thought that married people found other married people to complain about married people things. Is that not what your secret club does?
If it is, I haven't been invited to the secret club, which I wouldn't be surprised about.
You're not inducted yet, to be fair. Yeah.
I haven't had the canvas bag over my head and then lift it off
the initiation.
With like the candles and the
welcome
seances.
to hell.
Yeah. With like the drinking blood out of a big crystal goblet, which I'm very upset about.
It's just Boots Farm.
And so we don't necessarily have that yet. Now that being said, like I can see where it comes from of like married people being friends with married people, but I don't think that's really, I think Jacob and I pride ourselves a lot on still being individuals in our relationship. And so I think that kind of also bleeds into like us finding friends. And
yeah, I just like, it goes back to what you're saying about like being friends with people because you have like something in common or like a shared experience. Like you can talk to me about being married, but like I won't be able to relate to you in that way. And I think maybe that was kind of where I was coming from about like having people that can relate to you on that level where like most of your friends from ships aren't in the same place in their life as you are in that way. Like I just didn't know if it was something that you kind of, because having a friend is having a support system, like basically. And so I just didn't know if you were looking for a friend who wasn't me, somebody a little bit more marriable than I am.
Never. But like I said, like I think ships are also something to mention because I think that kind of forces you to learn how to make friends, you know? It's like an experience that like you walk into a group of 11 other people on your first day and you go, okay, so who am I going to be friends with? And like, I know people who are listening who have worked on ships know this exactly what I'm talking about, especially people who have worked in casts of, okay, I'm not really going to get along with this person. We're not really going to be friends. We're just going to have to get through this contract the best that we can. Number 2 is like, okay, cool. Like, we're definitely going to be friends on this contract. Really cool. We're going to get along. We're going to have a lot of fun nights on back deck. After the contract, we may be friends. We may talk to each other every so often, but for the most part, it'll be kind of like contractual friends. And then you have your unicorns, you're very few and far between, of this is it. Cool, cool, cool. We are going to be friends.
Tight.
We are going to be friends beyond this contract. I don't care what country we're in. I don't care how far we're apart. This is it.
Yeah, and like where your priorities lie.
Right.
Okay, so am I the only one that, like when the first person would post in the Royal Caribbean Facebook group of like, who's here for like the serenade, and I would, because it's your first impression of like, first of all, whether or not you decide to even comment on that or be like a little sneak and not say anything that you're in the cast. Or if you decide to comment that you're in the cast, then like, what do you like? I remember one time I was like, what can I do to like let people know who I am off the bat? And I think I did like a dinosaur emoji because I was like, this is me world. And then like one of my cast members, when I met them, they were like, you did a dinosaur emoji. And that was like very accurate of you now. And I was like, thank you. That was my goal. Like I'm cool, but also at the same time, not cool at all.
Not cool enough to post a dinosaur emoji.
That dinosaur emoji was loaded. It was carrying a lot of weight on its back. Get it ready for my emotional T-Rex headed your way.
No, I think you definitely like get a vibe of the people immediately. And like, I think that's really unique.
It's like your first impression. And then you kind of it's the first chance you get to meet the people who you're going to hang out with for the next 8 to 10 months.
Which I think is such a unique thing.
But I remember like I could tell you like my first impression of Alex based on her like social media, and then meeting her, and she was absolutely nothing like I thought she was going to be. Yeah. And people are always like, I don't make a good first impression at rehearsals. I know I don't. I make a better first impression now because I'm like a real person and I'm not like at work, but I know I don't make a good first impression. I grow on you like a tree
or a rash.
Okay. That's one way to treat people.
That's why I don't have any friends.
Yeah, be nice to the one you have. So we got home friends, we got work friends. Oh my God, do you know what I didn't really expect moving here? I know Joanna isn't a big fan of the Facebook groups, but I have to say, like, the amount of girls who are like, hey, I live in this area. Like, if anybody wants to, like, meet up, like, go for a walk, or, like, who wants to do, like, a WhatsApp group and, like, just, like, have a chat. The London New Girl group, the Facebook group, I think it's amazing. I mean, that's where we met Liz, and I adore her. And I definitely am on a mission to make her my real life friend. But yeah, I think Facebook groups, especially in the age that we live in of like social media and social networking and things like that. Also, have you ever tried, okay, so Bumble has like a friend version of Bumble.
I didn't know that.
And I kind of want to try it just to like, okay, I'm going to like download Bumble and the friend version. It's called Bumble BFF. And next episode, we're going to update each other on number 1, Bumble BFF.
Bumble BFF.
And number 2, Smile and High. Operation Smile High. And also...
But you're not allowed... Okay. You're not allowed to get a better best friend than me.
I'm not going to replace you.
I mean, I know it's
okay,
like...
But you're not allowed.
I know it's like one of the easier things to do in your life, but don't do it.
Also, honorable mention to showing up to a house viewing and not getting the house, but making a new best friend.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes, absolutely.
Because that was unexpected.
Totally. I don't know. It's like this like weird, I feel like it's always this weird dichotomy of like, I'm so much more confident in the person that I am today, but like also like my social anxiety is also more confident than it's ever been. So like, I have this like weird,
Like Battle of the Bands.
It is. And it's like, I can't describe it. It's just like this like equal in like battle of like the fact that like I'm able to walk into a room and be confident with who I am, but also be like at the same time like shitting my pants based on like if someone actually likes me, you know? Like,
can I ask you a question?
You can.
What about your drag persona? Does she have social anxiety?
Absolutely not.
Like, does she care? Oh, it's so interesting.
Zero social anxiety whatsoever.
Can you like put yourself in that mindset when you're being yourself?
I try to, but it's so... I definitely think that like since me doing drag, I've become like way more confident in certain situations, and like it's almost like when I put on the makeup, it's like I put on like this armor, this like I feel invincible, and that's kind of like what pushes like Betty to not have social anxiety. It's just me with makeup on, but like it completely changes your vibe and your persona and like how you express yourself. And there are times when like you kind of have to go like WWBD, like what would Betty do? There has to be like that conscious shift. But for the most part, like that's what I have to kind of learn to do instead of like it now being like natural.
That's so funny. I feel like you need to like have a mantra that you say to yourself, and like maybe like when you're next in your like drag, your alter ego confident self can like think of the mantra to tell your
normal
sad self.
my normal boring self. Yes.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like my journal is basically just fed up me telling future me to like get her head out of her ass. That's why I don't read my journal. I don't want to hear her advice. She sucks.
I think, you know what? I think there is a lot to be said about people who self-affirmation, looking in the mirror and going like, today you are a bad bitch. Today you are not going to give a shit what anyone thinks of you. And like, I think that like that's a very healthy thing. And I think it does kind of shift your point of view. I cannot speak today.
It's okay. No, I get you. And like when you are who you want to be, when you are your best self, that's when you attract like the
same vibrations, the same energy
towards you.
Yeah,
exactly. One more thing that is on my list to do to make secret friends. I want to join like not a club because I'm not 12, but like you know, like I want to join like a kickball team or like I don't know something that's doing something, but not too much of. I don't want to do too much. I don't want to do a lot. I'm tired.
You're tired.
I want to do something, but I don't want to do everything. Like, put me on a softball team. Put me at, like, the outfield to the left. Stage left, up stage 12. Yeah. I want to be on, like, some kind of team, like a checkers team.
Yeah.
Or, like, a freeze tag team. Or, like, a paintball summer camp
You should do
team.
a book club.
No.
Okay, so I guess that like wasn't too great of an idea. I don't know, like
no, because I'm trying to attract people that are fun and like fun things. I like to read, but I don't want to make a activity out of reading because that's how people escape from having to talk to each other, Mr. Social Anxiety.
I'm like, that's the perfect thing. A book club. You don't have to
just sit in silence and experience the safe. Like, no.
Yeah, like a social club.
Yeah. But, like, I don't want to just, like, ooh, do you know what would be a fun club? Is, like, a trivia club.
Yes, trivia nights are the best.
That would be so much fun. But I also want to, like, I don't know. I'm just
We're working on it. It's a work in progress.
Yeah, it's a work in progress. It's an idea. We're going to come back, and I'm going to be like, hey, everybody, I'm part of a rugby team. I don't know how it happened. I don't even really know what rugby is. Someone help me.
Help me.
I'm very
I'm
bruised
stuck.
and sore. Okay, guys, thank you so much for listening to this episode. If you liked it, make sure that you rate us 5 stars, leave a review, subscribe, do all the things. Make sure that you don't miss any new episodes coming out. We drop a new episode every single Tuesday. Also, make sure that you follow us on all of our social media. Joy, what's our Twitter?
When you hit that bird app, make sure you follow us at New to the City, and make sure you spell city, CiTea.
That's right. And we also have a YouTube page, Facebook page, and an Instagram page. All of that is New to the City Podcast. Again, that is CiTea. And if you have an idea of what kind of club, team, activity group that I should join, Joey should join, we both should join, or if you overthought your comment on the presenting page about announcing that you were a part of a cast, or if you partake in the Smile High Club, then make sure that you send us an email at newtothecitypodcast@gmail.com. Again, that is CiTea. And thank you guys so much for listening. That's it.
See you on the next one.
Fucking bye.